Hey, all Dylan Chalk here with Scribeware Software. Just a quick video. We're going to be doing a roundtable meetup with CCPIA on April the 14th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I believe is the timing. And we're going to go over Scribeware and commercial report writing. We've been working pretty hard in the last couple of years on a whole bunch of different features that would help us try to solve the commercial report writing problem. We talked to a lot of commercial building inspectors and listened to sort of some of the problems that they've been having with report writing. So let's unpack a few things. And I just wanted to, in this video, show you what our objectives were, what we were trying to do with commercial report writing. So the historic dilemma comes in a few different pieces, but the old way we did commercial building inspections with, was like Excel sheets and PDFs and sort of old school software and tables. And some of those reports are nice. They're PDF based, so they're a bit sort of clunky and not as modern. They're certainly great for getting tables into the report. You could often just use Excel and attach them. They were pretty slow, not very mobile friendly, maybe no mobile app at all. So you having to take your camera. So awful when you get back from a job like that and you got 400 pictures you're trying to deal with. So workflows were sort of a problem. And then, of course, we've got modern software now with mobile apps, and lots of people use those for residential inspections. But residential reports are different, and I don't think any of the systems were really designed for commercial workflow. And now that we've built all these different features, I see why. We had to really layer 6 or 7 different features in order to achieve what we've got going now. So it was hard. It's been hard. And some of our things are still kind of brand new, but we're excited for this roundtable meetup. And then obviously a lot of the new softwares lack table functionality. So most of the softwares that you can use a mobile app with don't have tables. So, and you can always attach a table as a separate Excel sheet, but that's a lot of work. You're now like, going into a whole other program and so forth in order to build tables. We want to try to solve that. All right. So here's my little quote. You can read that. I moved through it too fast, but so we've been innovating. We've been trying to come up with a bunch of different features that would let us get the workflow we want. And we've really had to layer a lot of different features to get the workflow we want. And for people that have been following us for the last year or two, this is why it's taken so long. It's pretty complicated, but I think we are really touching on a pretty cool workflow. So some of the things that we built tables, observation tags. We had to create this sort of button style observations, a show next to connected field value feature, photo captions to bullets, gunny sacks, and being able to ship with tags and tables saved per template. So we're getting pretty close to having all this done. A few of these things we had before we even started down the commercial path, but these are all kind of important features that are creating the workflow that we built in the commercial template we're going to show you. So, what were our goals? I mean, what were we trying to do? I mean, we talked to a lot of building inspectors. We are building inspectors ourselves. So, what were we trying to achieve with this new commercial template? So, the workflow goals: we wanted a mobile-friendly on-site workflow that lets you leave the site with all your pictures organized. I just hate getting home and having this big jumble of photos. So, the buttons feature was incredibly valuable for this. That was a great innovation by Tim. We want a mobile-friendly on-site workflow with minimal navigation. I mean, when I've done commercial with my residential template, the reports are pretty decent, but the workflow is awful. It's just so much clicking and navigating around, drive you crazy. So show next to connected field value as well as the buttons have been really great for this. Easy to add unlimited chapters and sections on the fly. We've kind of always had that in Scribeware, but it means you can use copy chapter, copy section buttons, so you can just add as many different units as you need, as many roofs, as many HVAC systems, electric panels, all that kind of stuff. Easy to populate inventories, right? We need tables where you don't have to navigate there, where you can kind of do it as part of your workflow. Take a picture of the data tag and quickly fill out the information and you're done, right? That's what we needed. Easy to author comments that do not rely on a massive residential like library of individual comments. For scribeware, in scribeware for years with residential, we've been using gunny sacks and photo captions to bullets and as two different techniques to kind of gang our comments together. I think it's very well suited to residential with things like roofs, decks, and siding, but I think it's great for pretty much everything in commercial where we're really getting down to brass tacks. We just need lists of defects. We don't need an explanation as to what reverse polarity is, right? Reminders about CCPIA ComStop requirements. So we use inspector only notes to try to help keep us on task for finding all the SOP stuff. We wanted to build a checklist style workflow for things like ADA and commercial kitchens and fire doors. Some of this is still underway and will probably be getting tweaked for a year. But in Scribeware, you can link comments to fields, and that creates a really powerful ability to take something complex like an ADA inspection and create sort of an automated checklist that you can go down. So pretty cool. And then a big one for me was an auto-generated contractor-specific tag so that when I'm done with my inspection without any additional work, I have a separate report for the electrician, a separate report for the heating and cooling guys, on down the line, roofing, whatever you want to set. So those are, we've kind of solved all those problems with workflow with this new template. So then it's great to talk about workflow, but you also have to have a finished report. So now I want to put my client hat on. What's the report I would like to see as a client? So I really love having a summary page that lists the deficiency priority by priority. So major concern, repair, recommended maintenance, improvement, that type of logic. And you don't have to have it. You could disable the summary page if you want, but I think it's great so that a client, without spending a lot of time, can quickly get a sense of the volume of deficiency findings. A report structure that will allow the client to see what's happening in each unit. So, I felt like in the full report, you need to be able to like click on unit 204, click on the roof, click on the siding, click on the, water heaters and like see what's going on with all the different systems. So we do have an inventory schedule, or excuse me, like a location specific navigation to look at the finished report. I wanted a structure that allows the client to see an inventory schedule of equipment. So, and also cost to cure tables. So that was the table functionality that we've been working so hard on. I want a report that allows a system by system summary. So again, I want to be able to send one report to the electrician, another one to the plumber, another one to the HVAC guy. So we've kind of achieved all those things. That's what we're doing with our template. So if you're interested, come by the CCPIA Roundtable on April 14th. We'd love to see you there. We're happy to take questions and feedback. This is a fluid thing, building a template. It's not like it's set in stone. But I think we've solved a lot of problems with commercial workflow. We're pretty excited to show you guys, get your feedback, and hopefully keep tweaking it so it can just get better and better. Thanks for your time. Cheers.